Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here for my weekly comic review. These comics came out the first day of May 2013. Let's get started with Marvel. Okay, gonna try to be brief with this one book because I don't want to reveal anything about it, and I'm definitely gonna be doing an in-depth review of it on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. Superior Spider-Man number 9. This is the issue that will make or break the series for a lot of fans. Okay. Once you read this, it's going to be you're going to have to make once you read this, you'll pretty much know whether or not you want to keep reading this series. The issue itself, Dan Slott is, once again, this issue shows that Dan Slott is a good writer. He knows how to push the envelope. I really enjoy his work, and I think I'm going to keep reading this series. But that's just my opinion. If you want to know more, I'm going to be doing an in-depth review of this on, like I said, Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, so subscribe to that channel, and this should be up maybe in the review for this should be up soon. Once I'm done filming the weekly review. Okay, next up, Iron Man number 9. The issue opens up with Tony Stark hiring the robot from last issue, Death's Head, to help him find Recorder 451. They manage to find 451's ship, they go on it, and it turns out Death's Head was actually working for 451 the whole time, and so that he could bring Tony Stark to the recorder. And 451, after he pays Death's Head, he pretty much incapacitates Tony's armor, so Tony doesn't have any control over it. Then he starts to show Tony an old movie, and when I say old, I mean like a film reel and a projector. And when 451 starts the movie, the first thing we see is Howard Stark, Tony's father. And Tony's father says that, it's pretty much a message for Tony, just like that whole Easter egg thing in Iron Man 2. Tony's dad says, Tony, I did this because I was thinking about the future and I was thinking about you. And then suddenly we see in the movie 451 appears. So obviously 451 knew Tony's dad, which is very interesting. And then that's where the issue ends. They're definitely starting the secret origin of Tony Stark story arc. To be honest, when I heard about this, I kind of thought they were just going to do it all in flashbacks, but, now they're just going to do it in these old movies that 451 has, which is interesting. I mean, towards the end, you start to get, curiosity starts to take fold in the reader's mind, like, how did Tony's father meet 451, and what exactly does Tony's dad mean when he says he had a plan for the future, and why did it involve his son? Like, questions like that. I mean, the last story arc was kind of weak, but the one before that, the first story arc of the new series, was amazing. I really hope that this next story arc, the Secret Origin, is just as good as the first one, if not better. But I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to like this one a lot more than the last one. So if you still want to get Iron Man, I'd say start with this. If you haven't checked out Iron Man yet, start with this issue, because I have a feeling that this is definitely going to be a good story arc. Alright, next up. All New X-Men number 11. Warren officially leaves the Jean Grey School to join Cyclops' Uncanny X-Men. And of course, when he does this, Jean tries to force him to stay by telepathically controlling him, but everyone's starting to object to it, and then Emma Frost orders the Stepford Cuckoos to attack Jean to get her to release her control, but they keep continuing their attack even after Warren gets ready to leave, and then Cyclops orders Emma to have the girls stop, and then the Uncanny X-Men leave, and afterwards Jean's still kind of traumatized over the whole event, and she talks to Kitty Pryde about it, and very nice conversation between the two about how Jean's kind of realizing that they're present, like the original X-Men's present in the future. It is kind of starting to change them in a way, because Jean notes that this is kind of disagreeing with all her memories she has of the 5 of them. Well, she did kind of see her adult memories through Beast way back in one of the earlier issues of the series, and now she's starting to realize that we're actually changing things, because we were always together, but now we're starting to break apart. And Kitty kind of calms her down and tells her that they could try to figure out a way to send them all back together and stuff like that. So nice nice little friendship moment between Jean Grey and Kitty Pryde. And then the original X-Men plus Kitty and Wolverine decide to go find Mystique and figure out what she's doing and why she wants Cyclops. So they head off into the Blackbird to figure out where he is, when suddenly they get pulled down. Their Blackbird gets pulled down by the Uncanny Avengers, which is led by Scott's brother, Alex, aka Havoc. And that's where the issue ends. Okay, all new X-Men number 11. Great issue. Really like this series. The only flaw, which I think was, why did they have to, last issue they kind of they ended the book without showing which of the original X-Men was joining Cyclops' Uncanny team. And they didn't show it last issue, but a lot of people figured it out because they just read the last issue of Uncanny X-Men. I mean, why did they need that? They could have just showed Warren leaving, and that could have been it. That was something that a lot of people didn't like about the last issue, since you could have just checked it out in Uncanny X-Men. But I really wasn't complaining about that much. But overall, I think this is a great issue. Really liked how this is starting to take how how the original X-Men's presence in the future is really starting to take a toll on them, and you start to wonder, like, if they go back in the past, will the future remain the same or will it change? Like, right when they bring them back in the past and they decide to change stuff, will they just decide, okay, will the future change? That's something I'm curious about. If they ever get sent back in the past, I mean. But yeah, all new X-Men, very very great series. Like the ending where where next issue we're probably gonna have to deal with the Uncanny Avengers. But I hope after Uncanny Avengers we kind of ease off with the team ups for a while, because there have been a lot of other teams guest starring in this book lately. I mean, first it was the Avengers, now it's the Uncanny X-Men, and now it's going to be the Uncanny Avengers. So I kind of hope after Uncanny Avengers we kind of get the series progresses a little more on the whole Mystique storyline, and we get all of that resolved before dealing with any other teams. Like, just ease up on the guest stars a little and make some progress with the Mystique storyline. That's the only thing I have to say about this book. But other than that, I think this is a great series, and I would definitely recommend it to X-Men fans. Alright, now for DC. Starting with Aquaman number 19. There is a lot of setup in this issue. Okay, I'm not even joking about that. We get Aquaman continuing his search to find the Scavenger, who's this guy illegally selling Atlantean weapons. Also, we have two Atlantean soldiers who are still loyal to Arthur's brother Orm, Tula and Mark. Wait, why did I write Mark? I think his name was Marth or something. No, that's the guy from Fire. Anyways, we've got Atlantean soldiers plotting to overthrow Arthur, and we also have the original King of Atlantis, this guy right here on the cover. He takes Mera to the Bermuda Triangle, and right after he brings down a ship that they're on, Mera meets up with her people. We get a little glimpse of what Mera's people were like, and she meets them, and we also meet this guy named Nereus, who is apparently Mera's husband, or other husband. She's still married to Arthur, so that's gonna be interesting. Aquaman number 19 just pretty much sets up everything. A number of storylines that we're obviously going to be dealing with. First, the Scavenger, then Atlantean soldiers who want to overthrow Arthur to get Orm back in power, and also what's going on with Mera. I really think it's interesting, but I mean, it's good that Jeff Johns is taking the time to kind of set up the future for Aquaman here, but when you read this issue, it's kind of all the different setups. It feels a little chaotic, and really, I would recommend this issue just for new readers. Okay, if you've heard all the good things about Aquaman, you thought, hey, I want to pick this up. Where can I start? Well, I would say start with issue 19 right now, and that should give you the chance to read Aquaman and give it a shot and stuff. But right now, I would say this issue is only good for new readers, because I really didn't like how they handled the setup in this issue. It just felt scrambled and like I said, chaotic. But still, Aquaman's a great series. I'd still say that this is a good jump on point for new readers. Okay, next up, Animal Man number 20. We return to the movie Buddy Baker was in called Tights, and it featured a superhero called Red Thunder. If you read the earlier, they did something like this before in the earlier issues of Animal Man, right before Rot World, which involved Cliff, Buddy's son, watching the movie on his smartphone. Now we're seeing the second part of the movie, and it really starts to relate to Buddy's life, and it does kind of start to relate to Buddy's life a little more. And we see that it's Buddy watching the movie this time, and right when he pauses it, stops it, he gets a call from his agent who says that because of his movie, you've now been nominated for Best Actor. And that's where the issue ends. Really, I can say that right now this is pretty much a filler issue, but one of the things that Animal Man's kind of dealing with now is that his son's died, his relationship with his wife is definitely on the outs. I mean, things aren't looking too good for Animal Man's personal and family life, and it gets even worse because there's paparazzi following him around. Now he's just kind of... now it just seems like he's becoming more of a celebrity than a superhero. And I think right now that's a good idea for a story arc. It looks very interesting. And I would say that... And as far as a jump-on point, I would say you probably need to read last issue and then maybe find the other issue that featured Buddy Baker's movie and read that too, so you can kind of get what's kind of going on with this one, with the whole movie and everything. But yeah, overall I'd say Animal Man is a great series and you should definitely give it a shot. Alright, now Green Arrow number 20. Pretty much the big fight showdown between Komodo and Green Arrow. Komodo decides to lure Oliver into one big showdown because the people that Komodo is working for say they want Oliver out of the picture now, and he's given one last chance, so he decides to use Oliver's friend Naomi as a hostage to lure Oliver. And of course Oliver agrees to this to save Naomi. She's being held hostage at the Queen family mausoleum. Oliver goes to save her, and while also deal with Komodo. So Oliver fights Komodo while he has his friend Thief, who's been helping him for the past few issues, disarm the explosive that Naomi's attached to. So while Thief's disarming the bomb, Oliver's pretty much fighting Komodo, and it's a basic shootout between archers until Oliver kind of runs low on arrows, and he just decides to sneak up and attack Komodo from behind, and he does that. It pretty much goes from an archer shootout to a fist fight, and ultimately, though, right when it seems like Oliver's about to lose, he's able to grab an arrow and just stab it right in Komodo's eye. That was pretty cool. And after Komodo gets stabbed in the eye, Oliver's about to go in and take him down, but Komodo escapes using the smokescreen arrow and gets away. But good news is Naomi's fine. She does have some footage that proves that Oliver's innocent, so she's able to clear Oliver's name, and Oliver then decides he should go to Black Mesa and figure out what the hell is really going on and talk to this guy Magus. And again, the Black Mesa story arc that's kind of the second part of this that we've seen at the start of each issue. Well, Oliver finally makes it to Magus's camp in Black Mesa at the start of this book. Then we go into the final fight with Komodo, and then on the last page we see that it was actually Magus who managed to strand Oliver in the desert so that he would walk to Black Mesa in the first place. Yeah, I know that sounds confusing, but that's pretty much the conclusion to Jeff Lemire's first story arc on Green Arrow. All I can say is it's very interesting, okay? I like the idea. I like the whole Komodo Dark Archer thing. That was a cool dynamic. We're getting some teases here about what Oliver's dad was really up to on the island and what he wanted Oliver to do. It does have a feel to it. It feels like I am reading about Arrow the TV show, I mean, if you've seen Arrow, I think you're going to like this because they did follow the same kind of format where we have the story in the present, which is Oliver walking to Black Mesa to meet Magus, and the flashback stuff that deals with the past, which was Oliver getting framed and finding Komodo. That was both. I thought both stories were very well done. I think it was good that they decided to get. In retrospect, I think it was good that they decided to sort of do the Black Mesa thing at the beginning of each issue because, otherwise they probably would have put that into one shot, and that would have just been over like that. But I think the format does kind of work for this story arc. I really hope though that next issue when Magus starts to explain everything to Oliver, it's just set in one time period and we don't have any of this go 1 week later, 1 week earlier, stuff like that. But yeah, overall, Jeff Lemire has done an amazing job on Green Arrow. I would definitely recommend people who haven't read this book check it out because it's amazing. It really is. I mean, if you liked Arrow the TV show, then you should definitely go back and read Jeff Lemire's Green Arrow. I believe he started writing the book with issue 17. That's something that you should go. Actually, wait, 17. I think it was around 17. If you can, go back and get those issues and start reading them because this is actually because I'm really starting to like Green Arrow now that Jeff Lemire's taken over it. And our last comic, Action Comics number 20. Superman wakes up in Dr. Veritas' lab after she stated that she was able to remove the hybrid sample that attached to him last issue. And after Superman gets up and gets his costume back on, Veritas shows Superman the sample and explains to him that somehow it's attached itself to, it somehow copied some of his DNA and it's adapting it to itself, becoming this sort of hybrid creature. And of course, right when Superman gets near it, the sample suddenly starts to attack him, and then it mutates even further. It grows larger in size, and so Veritas then teleports the creature and Superman to a room in her lab that's powered by red sunlight. So they're both depowered, but the hybrid still manages to somehow almost take Superman's form, which Superman then asks Veritas to dim the lights a little, which somehow gives him enough strength to use his ice breath to freeze the creature, then smash into a billion pieces. Okay, maybe not a billion, more like several hundred. Anyways, after the creature's taken care of, and Superman starts talking to Dr. Veritas about what that thing was and how it was able to attack him, even though apparently it was removed. And Veritas concludes that somehow the creature the virus is starting to have an attraction to Superman. And right when they discuss this stuff, they get a news report in Metropolis that says suddenly people are being infected by the same virus that the hybrid was. And of course, Superman flies to Metropolis. He sets up a containment area to keep all the infected people in one area. But somehow all the hybrid viruses somehow merge into one, and they look like a giant creature like the one earlier in the issue, and they fight Superman. And of course, while this is going on, Lex Luthor is getting the old war suit ready because we know Luthor's behind the whole thing, and he says that he's preparing so that he can save Metropolis from both the virus and Superman. Classic Luthor, setting up worldwide chaos just to make Superman look bad, and he can try to be the hero. And also, there's a backup feature to this issue that features Krypton before it exploded. There's a younger version of Jor-El, Lara, and Jack Sword. That looks interesting. But yeah, the main story is actually very nice. I'm glad that since the New 52 started, we're actually getting a Superman vs. Lex Luthor story arc, like just the two of them. And again, like I said, this is classic Luthor. He created a virus that would infect people, cause chaos, and make Superman look like he was the cause of it. Because even Superman thinks that he's responsible for this virus. Because he asks, am I going to infect anyone else as long as I have this virus? And of course, she's like, no. And so, Superman doesn't know that Luthor's behind this yet. But we have Lex getting ready to wear his old, purple and green red war suit, and he can go out and fight the virus. Because obviously Luthor's going to show up, say, I have the cure. He's going to defeat the virus and try to make Superman look bad so that he can be a hero himself. But we all know that Superman's probably going to find some evidence that ties Luthor to the whole thing. Action Comics number 20. I'm actually liking the story arc. I think Andy Diggle had good ideas for this series. It sucks that he quitted after the first story arc. His run ended so early. I mean, I would have liked to have seen more ideas, but I like this. So far, I've been liking this. I mean, I liked issue 19. I thought that was a good opener, and I like issue 20. Very nice with the whole hybrid virus thing, and next issue it's going to conclude, and I think after that, I'm not so sure if I'm going to keep picking up Action Comics after the next issue. But yeah, right now I would say check out Andy Diggle's issues on Action. Last month's issue 19 and this month's issue 20, and then it's all going to conclude with issue 21 next month. Check it out. If you can get it, they're both really great issues. I would definitely recommend them to anyone out there. Again, it really sucks. Again, so far I've been liking this story arc, but like I said, it sucks that he quit so early. Okay, that's it for my comic review of the week. Quick rundown. Issue number 2, part 2 of the hybrid story arc. Really nice. Really wish Andy Diggle could finish his run. Could have done his entire run on Action Comics instead of just the first 3-issue story arc. Green Arrow number 20. If you like Arrow the TV series, I'm probably sure you're gonna like this series. Go back to issue 17 to see the beginning of Jeff Lemire's run on this title. Animal Man number 20. We now see another part of Buddy Baker's movie, and his career as an actor seems to be going great, but his personal life going to hell. Aquaman number 19. Tons of setup in this issue. Good jump on point for new readers. All new X-Men number 11. Warren quits the team to join Cyclops' side. In the end, the team gets stopped by the Uncanny Avengers. Can't wait to see what happens when Scott meets his younger brother, or older brother. Time travel, confusing. Iron Man issue 9. The start to the secret origin of Tony Stark. So far, this looks interesting. Hopefully, this will be a lot better than the whole God Killer story arc. And Superior Spider-Man number 9. This is going to be the issue that will make or break the title for a lot of people. And that's my review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.